Hello, everybody, and welcome back to EARI's channel. We're sitting here once again with co-founder, medicinal mixologist, and CEO of Lake Tahoe Distilling and Elemental Spirits, Kat Valentina. Kat, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. So as we previously announced your guys' acquisition by EARI, now I want to dive into your guys' past a little bit. Tell me about your past experience. What really motivates you as an entrepreneur?
Okay, so it's going to be a long story. You ready? All right. I was a young girl. I moved to LA and I wanted to be an actress, right? I was very excited about the entertainment industry. And I thought, well, let me just bartend for a little bit until I become a famous actress. That was it. Right? Fair enough. So as I got more and more involved in the bartending industry or the restaurant industry, I saw what was lacking. And what that was a connection to the planet, was a connection to the elements of the world, right? To healing. Because it was, I remember just being in bars and there was just shots being yelled out, right? And I thought, well, I'm not feeling that. I don't think that's the way that we as humans want to move forward with alcohol, right? So there's one thing being said there. I also started studying at the same time. So so imagine a train track right now. So that's one thought that was going on. The other thing is I started getting involved with studying traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and herbs from indigenous cultures all across the world. Okay. So I started pulling that into, I was like, what if I kind of did both and we create a vibe called conscious imbibing? The idea about it is every ingredient that goes into the cocktail, into the spirit, into the bitters, is something that you think about first. So if we can be conscious in a space and state where unconsciousness happens so frequently and quickly, can't we move that into the rest of the world?
It's an interesting proposition. I would say a large portion of our issues in this country and many others is unconscious consumption of multiple things. And,
agreed.
And alcohol is definitely one where you want to be conscious of what you're doing and so on. And you can enjoy alcohol totally consciously and responsibly at that too. Great. And I could see how your experience, which by the way, bartending is a very stressful endeavor. It's definitely one of the harder jobs that can give you some great multitasking skills, right? So, okay, so you have these ideas, they're kind of floating around. You're kind of putting them into boxes and figuring out how to manifest them in the world. So then tell me how that story then clashes with Jeff's, how you guys come to make this Lake Tahoe Distilling and Elemental Spirits. Bring me up to that point of the story.
Okay, so when I had these like crazy ideas going on, right, and I'm with my mother on her property in Marin County. Gratitude, thank you so very much to the Miwok that have offered us the land and space to grow the herbs. Right, got super excited about growing the herbs. Right, so I started doing a class called a medicinal mixology class. So it takes the 5 elements of the TCM, Chinese medicine theory. So the flavors, the organs that they're associated with, there's a whole element to that, right? So I took that into a class. I taught a class at American Distilling Institute. Oh my goodness, I don't even know how many years ago. Jeffrey walked into my class. He took both the bitters class and the medicinal mixology class that I was teaching. And we kind of connected like, okay, he's like, I think this is a good idea. Like, what can we do with this? And we connected from that point. And we're like, okay, so it's been a lot of moving and shaking. Yeah. There's been a lot of fluctuation in the industry. Let's be kind about it, I guess, and say that. The last 2 years have been very difficult, but we started from that point where we're like, hey, we're thinking the same thing. How can we do this with bitters and spirits and cocktails and create a movement? We really want to create a movement. Conscious imbibing is a movement. Medicinal mixology is a movement. It's a new way of looking. Imagine if you have internationally, people start looking at their cocktails differently. Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah. Aiming for like a shift in perspective and how people would consume beverages. And I guess so then where we're standing today, tell me what you would typically handle on the day. Like walk us through a day as Kat, as the CEO, like what that would entail.
Okay. Well, let's see. Where do we start? Well, first things first, I get up and I check the plants. I see who's doing what. And when I say who's doing what, I mean who but the plants, right? So they have personalities for me, right? So I just kind of check out, engage where we're at. And we've had so much weather in all of the areas, California, Nevada, wherever we're at, right? There's been so much weather. So I kind of check the healthiness there. And then I go, okay, well, what can I do with that? So if there's something, because plants are volatile and we need to act with them and upon them as they come in. So I do that first, and then I kind of go into my store. I call my store, which is just a basic, it's all my dried herbs. And so I see, what does a maceration look like today? What can I play with plant profiles? What can I learn? And I usually then get online and start spending some time there, doing what I can with investigations. Yeah. For me, investigations of herb.
Okay, interesting. So so now I guess things have changed for 2022 for you guys. Like you said, obviously COVID
very much so.
has been a rough ride for everybody involved. It's been a very rough ride.
Right.
Looking like things are potentially getting better in the world. We can cross our fingers and hope that's the case. But specifically for you guys, what are you excited about for 2022 the most?
We are super excited about everything. First of all, opening up here. And more than that is being able to spread the word of medicinal mixology. Very excited about showing what it looks like when people are a little trepidatious. And I have heard that through the COVID situation too, a lot of people were like, oh, I just started just drinking too much and, just kind of opening bottles and just drinking them. I'm like, cool, let's get back on track, right? Everybody, I think, because they kind of sat with themselves for a while. Who do I want to be? What do I want to do? What we want to bring to the table is a different way to drink, right? A different way to drink, as I was talking about before. So, hey, what does the summer look like? Amazing cocktails. And these cocktails don't necessarily have to do with a lot of alcohol. It doesn't have to do with just slamming things. It has to do with the creation and the beauty of it and the art. Let's bring art to the world this summer. Let's do that.
That sounds like a plan to me, Kat. I think you did a great job of walking us through both your past experiences, your motivations, and how you wound up where you are today. And again, if anyone has any questions about any of that, send it over to us and we'll happily answer further. But for now, is there anything else about yourself you would like to add before we go?
Just love our products. There's so much passion and so much love. And I want to express that this is not coming from a place of trying to make money. And I want that to be understood. And I see a lot in this, our spirits industry has changed so much in the last several years. And what I want it to be understood is this comes from a place from the heart. We're not doing this for money. We're not doing this for acclaim. We want to literally educate the world and bring joy to the world.
Wonderful. Very well said, Kat. Well, thank you for joining us again here today. Thank you everyone for watching and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.